Have you ever seen a team go from top-tier hopes to daily chaos faster than the Philadelphia 76ers? Only months ago, fans believed this squad would stand shoulder to shoulder with the greatest contenders in the league. Yet here we are, watching a whirlwind of injuries, questionable contract decisions, and fading morale that nobody could have predicted. It's a meltdown that grows more puzzling every day, and the only certainty is that something big needs to change before the franchise falls deeper into the abyss. Joel Embiid was supposed to be the unstoppable force around which everything revolved. He'd already claimed an MVP, dominated the paint for years, and captured the hearts of a basketball-hungry city. Once the 76ers added Paul George, the organization promised a fearsome duo that would conquer the Eastern Conference and vie for a championship. Fans expected unstoppable pick-and-roll action, nightly double-doubles, and the kind of leadership that sets elite teams apart. Instead, they've gotten persistent injury updates, cryptic public statements, and lineups that never seem to stay healthy long enough to form any real chemistry. The tension in Philly feels like an entire season caught on a continuous downward spiral. The biggest red flag came when rumors emerged that Embiid's knee issues weren't just a matter of day-to-day soreness. Reports hinted at something more substantial, potentially requiring another surgery that could keep him off the floor for months. The organization tried to downplay the whispers, occasionally calling it a knee situation or labeling it as general soreness. Observers around the league saw this strategy and immediately suspected the team was hiding the true severity of the problem. What complicated matters further was Embiid's off-season. Instead of resting, he decided to join Team USA for the Olympics, driven by a desire to win a gold medal. While that ambition is admirable, it may have aggravated a lingering health issue. By the time training camp arrived, he was already nursing the very injury that haunts the 76ers to this day. Despite the red flags, the front office went all in, signing Embiid to a lucrative extension that stretches to 2029. Handing him a 3-year, $193 million contract on top of existing commitments signaled complete trust in his long-term availability. Critics questioned whether guaranteeing so much money to a player with a track record of limited games and recurring injuries was the right gamble. Initially, management shrugged off concerns. They believed that, once fully healthy, Embiid would return to his MVP-caliber dominance and lead Philadelphia toward a title. The problem is that their confidence hasn't matched the reality on the court. Embiid continues to miss time, the team's record plummets, and the window for a deep postseason run narrows more each passing day. Paul George was supposed to be the other puzzle piece that made everything click. His arrival infused the locker room with excitement, and fans envisioned a tandem unstoppable on both ends of the court. However, George's performance has regressed to levels not seen since early in his career. The sharpshooting is inconsistent. The defensive impact looks muted, and frustration appears to mount every time he has a poor night. Piling on the issue, his contract isn't cheap either. The Sixers locked him into terms that might feel burdensome if he can't rediscover his rhythm. Nobody expected him to be a role player, but the lack of consistent star-level production is putting even more strain on a roster that can't afford to waste any opportunities. When the rumors of Embiid's potential trade value started swirling, it sparked an intriguing debate. Some insisted that Philadelphia should have parted ways with him last year, potentially receiving a treasure chest of assets from a big market team like the New York Knicks. Considering the Knicks' eagerness for a franchise big man, they might have offered significant draft picks and core players. That scenario has likely evaporated now. Embiid's extensive injury history and massive contract diminish his appeal on the open market. Even if the 76ers placed him on the trade block tomorrow, it's unlikely they'd secure anything close to what Karl-Anthony Towns fetched for Minnesota in his move to Manhattan. Embiid's new contract has turned from a beacon of faith into a millstone limiting the team's flexibility. Still, all hope isn't lost. Some pundits propose a radical solution that involves pulling the plug on this season. Yes, that sounds extreme for a franchise with championship aspirations, but it might be the only route to salvage the bigger picture. Shutting down Embiid for surgery allows him the time to fully heal and come back strong. Resting George, who's nursing his own wear and tear, provides a chance to regain top form by next year. By embracing a partial rebuild, the Sixers could slip far enough in the standings to keep a crucial draft pick, which is top 6 protected. Landing in that range would allow them to snatch a promising rookie in a class projected to be loaded with talent. If everything goes according to plan, Philadelphia could enter next season with a healthy duo, a fresh young player, and renewed hope. Unfortunately, that vision demands organizational unity. General Manager Daryl Morey and head coach Nick Nurse might feel the pressure to stay competitive because their jobs could be on the line. Calling it quits now would mean forfeiting immediate wins and possibly angering ownership, media, and fans. Morey's been chasing that elusive NBA title for 2 decades, and he's come close several times. Another losing season risks tarnishing his reputation further. Nurse, despite winning a championship in Toronto, faces scrutiny in a new city where patience has run thin after years of playoff disappointments. They have to decide between sacrificing short-term respectability for long-term improvement, or trying to squeak into the postseason only to face certain elimination against the league's true powerhouses. If the Sixers reject that forward-thinking path, the worst-case scenario looms. Suppose Embiid pushes through pain, George keeps logging minutes at less than optimal efficiency, and they squeak into the play-in tournament. Even in the unlikely event that they survive those high-pressure games, an opening round date with Boston, Cleveland, or Milwaukee could lead to a swift exit. They would lose their draft pick, watch the roster get banged up, and waste another year of Embiid's prime. The team would then stagger into the offseason with less flexibility, fewer trade assets, and no guarantee that either superstar will be healthier when training camp rolls around again. Off-season trades might tempt fans who believe a drastic overhaul is overdue. However, markets for aging players on max deals aren't what they used to be. The new collective bargaining agreement has made front offices more cautious, especially with the looming second apron. Having 2 highly paid, injury-prone stars can cripple a franchise if those players aren't carrying you to the top. Even Embiid's MVP credentials won't automatically persuade teams to part with their future. Not when they risk inheriting a massive contract that could become a hindrance if his knee problems persist. George's current slump only decreases his market value further, leaving Philadelphia in a tough position if they decide to shop either one. No one denies the Sixers have made strategic errors, from endorsing Embiid's Olympic run to doubling down on signings that haven't panned out. Yet the beauty of sports lies in its unpredictability. Every year brings a new chance at redemption. If the coaching staff and front office can swallow their pride and commit to a short-term retreat, the reward might be a healthier, rejuvenated core that can realistically chase a title next season. By then, their rookie addition could contribute valuable minutes or become another asset in a potential blockbuster trade. This strategy requires swallowing some bitterness now for the possibility of future triumph. It's a precarious tightrope. On one side looms the risk of an immediate flameout that leaves everyone unemployed. On the other stands the promise of a reconfigured roster poised to challenge the East best. Whether they choose to sabotage the remainder of this tumultuous year or attempt a desperate playoff push, the Sixers must make a decision soon. The fan base is tired of half measures and sugar-coated injury reports. If Philadelphia truly believes it can regain contender status, the clearest path might involve stepping backward to jump forward. Now it's just a matter of whether those in charge have the courage to accept a harsh reality and reshape a franchise desperate for stability. The answer could either revive the Joel Embiid era or accelerate its end, leaving every basketball fan wondering what might have been had these bold moves been